find the X-915, Commander Richards. To sink her.
1100 hours. Still no word from the X-915. Destroyers escorting the atomic sub on her second trial run had watched her dive and had never regained either visual, radar, or sonar contact. The fathometers aboard the destroyers supported the Admiral's theory that the X-915 was not on bottom. Again, only one conclusion remained. The atomic sub was proceeding to destination unknown under her own orders. Either the crew was composed entirely of traitors, which was unlikely in view of the exhaustive loyalty checks made on them, or some small portion of that crew, perhaps but a handful of men, had succeeded in taking over command of the vessel. With the sub maintaining complete radio silence, this latter point could only be guessed. 1130 hours. Admiral Carruthers established radio contact with the task force, which had now begun to rendezvous at Point Stork. The task force commander, Captain Stevens, was designated by the code name Red Dog 1 for radio communications. Admiral Carruthers was using Pier Point 5.
This is Red Dog 1. This is Red Dog 1. Hello, Pier Point 5. Hello, Pier Point 5. This is Red Dog 1. How do you read me? Over.
Hello, Red Dog 1. This is Pier Point 5. I read you 5 by 5.
Pier Point 5. This is Red Dog 1. Group has met at Point Stork. Over.
Red Dog 1 from Pier Point 5. Execute search plan able. Good luck. Over.
Pier Point 5. Thanks, Skipper. Over and out.
Captain Stevens is a good man, Commander. If anyone can catch them, he can.
The sub has a pretty fair lead, Admiral. We haven't got anything in the fleet that can make good 45 knots submerged.
I don't know who is commanding the X-915 right now, Richards. But if he's smart, he isn't traveling submerged.
I don't understand your point, sir. What about our air search? They'd spot him in a minute if he surfaced.
The sub is equipped with Mark 10 radar. That means they can pick up a plane or an Air Force group 100 miles away. By traveling on the surface, he can make good 60 knots. He'll have plenty of time to dive before being spotted by the Air Force.
And at 60 knots, we haven't the slightest chance of...
I'm afraid you're right, Commander. Yes? Oh, yes, just a minute. Commander, it's for you. You take it in the other office, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Richard speaking.
Commander Richards, sir.
Yes, who is it?
Sir, this is the sentry down at the torpedo shack.
Yes, go on.
Well, sir, you remember when you were down here this morning about 9 o'clock? You told us to leave, if anything funny happened.
All right, Sentry, what have you found?
Well, sir, Commander, that's just it. We didn't find nothing. You see, one of them torpedo cases came open just a little while ago, and we seen they were empty. Somebody taken them atomic warheads out of them during the night.
All right, get 10 men. No, make it 20. Search the entire storeroom, search the base. Check back with me in 30 minutes.
No, we haven't got time for that now. And see why that second fighter group hasn't contacted our task force yet. Right. Oh, it's you, Commander. You've got to try, even when you know you can't possibly win.
Admiral, I've got an idea.
Idea? I hope it contains a miracle.
It contains 1,000 to 1 shot.
I'd say that's about 1,000,000 to 1 better than our chances right now. What is your idea, Commander?
I received a phone call just now. That phone call was from the sentry down at the torpedo shack. Admiral, he told me he found the atomic warhead crates empty.
Empty?
They're conducting a thorough search, but I don't imagine they'll find them.
Commander Richards, do you realize the gravity of your remarks? Those crates were marked torpedoes, but you know as well as I do what they actually contain.
Yes, sir. They contained atomic warheads for the rockets aboard the X-915. They were scheduled for use on the final trial run.
Equipped with those warheads, that sub could launch a full-scale atomic attack on any city on the eastern seaboard.
Exactly my reasoning, sir.
Then what makes you so darn pleased about it? Not only has an enemy force succeeded in capturing our first atomic submarine, we now learn they have taken along the greatest single weapon the United States Navy owns.
And could thus demolish any city on the eastern seaboard, sir.
Well, Commander Richards, you darn well better explain yourself.
Admiral, the captors of the X-915 pulled off one of the greatest coups in military history. Wouldn't you think we'd be satisfied to let it go at that?
Please continue, Commander.
However, this enemy went to the added risk of stealing a shipment of atomic launching rockets. Now, why?
Why?
Why take that extra gamble unless they had plans to use it?
I'm beginning to see your point, Commander.
If the captors of the X-915 merely wanted the sub and were planning to make a run for it, they'd have accomplished it. But they included in their plans our atomic rockets. Admiral Carruthers, it's my guess they're going to use those rockets in the near future. Say, today.
I'll go along with that reasoning, Commander. Let's get to work.
1,300 hours, 3 April 1952. Admiral Carruthers and I studied the charts of the Atlantic coast. We agreed the logical target for atomic attack would be the city of New York. Figuring the effective range of the sub's atomic rockets at 100 miles, we then sketched in the launching area the sub would have to use. Once that was established, there remained one simple detail. Stop those rockets from ever leaving the sub's deck. Admiral Carruthers, lately of Inuitak, Iwo Jima truck in the Philippines, had a plan.
All right, Commander. We've settled on the site of their attack. That becomes our bullseye. Around that bullseye, we draw a circle 10 miles out, like this. Then another circle, another 10 miles. And still another, until the outer circle around the bullseye measures 100-mile radius.
In other words, sir, our outer circle is out of the atomic sub's radar range.
Exactly. Now, calculating their speed and course, they should arrive at Point Bullseye, the center, just about the time we're able to complete a ring of ships 100 miles out.
With the X-915 in the center. Except if we close in, sir, the sub will submerge and escape under us.
We won't close in.
I beg your pardon, sir?
We'll send one ship in toward the bullseye, alone. The sub will pick up contact.
Yes, I'm beginning to understand. They'll figure it for a stray vessel, not enough of a threat to frighten them. But it would force them to shift their position before launching their rocket.
Right. And it also forces them to travel submerged. That negates their 100-mile radar. Next, we send in another lone ship. Sub shifts position again to another segment of our circle. Then we send in still another ship. We're constantly narrowing their corridor for attack.
And when they break surface in the last remaining segment to fire their rockets, we're surrounding them.
We hope to God we are, Commander. Hello, Red Dog 1. Hello, Red Dog 1. This is Pier Point 5. Over.
Hello, Pier Point 5. This is Red Dog 1. Over.
Discontinue search plan able. I repeat, discontinue search plan able. Over.
Pier Point 5, this is Red Dog 1. Would you repeat your last transmission? Over.
Red Dog 1, this is Pier Point 5. I repeat, discontinue your present search plan. The following plan supersedes all previous orders. It is to be executed immediately following this transmission. I repeat...
The Admiral, with the patience of a man who knew his job, began dictating to his task force commander the base search pattern they were to follow. For 5 minutes, he gave facts and figures that he explained the purpose of this new plan. If his conversation was terse to the point of being salty, then it was still more temperate than the situation might have called for. By 1600, the plan was in effect. The Admiral clicked off his radio transmitter, and we stared at each other. We had to pray for one thing, that whoever had captured the X-915 would now proceed to the launching area, and once there, attempt to destroy the city of New York. "17:15. The sun was low outside the Admiral's office. The sun was low outside the city of New York. Sundown was made for submarines. It is their witching hour, their debut, their time for attack."
Coffee, Commander?
Thank you, sir.
What time is it?
5:20, sir.
Beautiful sunset.
Yes, sir.
Used to seem like this off Inuitak. Pacific, that's where you have the sunsets.
Lyndon served in the Pacific, sir.
Lyndon? Oh.
More coffee, Admiral?
Commander, what happened to Chief Engineer Lyndon? Captain Unger. Unger was a classmate of mine at the academy. He didn't sell out.
None of them sold out, sir. They were shanghaied. You can bet on it.
And they're all aboard that sub right now. Lyndon and Unger and a lot of good men. The sub, it's our job to sink.
Pier Point 5, this is Red Dog 1. Come in, please. Over.
Oh, it's Captain Stevens. They should be at the launching point now. Pier Point 5 to Red Dog 1. Go ahead. Over.
Pier Point 5, we have completed the ring. I repeat, we have completed the ring. Over.
Red Dog 1, Pier Point 5. Have you sent in your first messenger?
Pier Point 5, Red Dog 1. Roger. Over.
Red Dog 1, proceed with plan. Please advise any contact. Over and out.
The Admiral sat down behind his chart-cluttered desk, the wind-lined stains of his face more noticeable now, and together we waited.
Pier Point 5, and sending in second messenger. Ring closing. No contact as yet. Over and out.
Together we waited 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Sending in third messenger. Closing to a bullseye. No contact. Over and out.
One by one, the single ships were slicing across the big target we'd drawn on our chart. Each ship slicing in closer toward the launching area, forcing the enemy we'd never seen to change plans, change positions, yet not frightening him enough to make him forget his attacks.
Clear point 5, Red Dog 1. Sending in 7th messenger. No contact as yet. Closing within 10 miles of bullseye. I repeat, no contact.
In one way, that's good, Commander. At least we can feel certain the X-915 hasn't surfaced.
Well, we're safe from our radar, then. Our sound range is 10,000 yards.
And I'm going to order the task force to patrol that range. Red Dog 1, take position 5 miles from bullseye. I repeat, take position 5 miles from bullseye. Over.
Clear point 5, this is Red Dog 1. Okay, Skipper, but that's as close as we can get. If we miss...
Gol darn it, we aren't going to miss. Close in.
Aye, aye, sir.
And report to me every minute.
Yes, sir, we're closing in. Over and out.
Stevens is worried.
I don't blame him, sir.
He's only worried. I'm scared. Suppose the sub headed for Siberia.
And we're out of luck anyway.
Clear point 5, closing to 10,000 yards. No contact. Destroyer group is... Clear point 5. Destroyer group off by port's bow has sighted enemy. I repeat, destroyer group has sighted enemy. The sub is surfacing. Clear point 5, do you hear me? Over.
Red Dog 1, I hear you. Over.
Enemy has surfaced. Destroyer group opening fire. Dive bombers coming in. Bombers making attack. Sub is still surfaced. Clear point 5. Clear point 5.
Red Dog 1. Red Dog 1, come in, please. Red Dog 1, this is Clear point 5. Come in, please. Red Dog 1, are you receiving me?
Clear point 5, this is Red Dog 1. I am receiving you. Air Force and destroyer groups have attacked. The X-915 is sinking. I repeat, X-915 is sinking. Proceeding to pick up survivors. Over.
Red Dog 1. This is Pier Point 5. Well done. Over and out.
1000 hours, 4 April 1952. Task Force Able reported into Admiral Carruthers. Seamen with brilliant naval records. All 8 had been living and working within Naval Base Charlie for 6 months. And what of the Steinberg periscope? Why had they sabotaged it? The answer was, they had not. Just as the lab technicians told us the cable had broken from strain. A manufacturer's mistake. A mistake that brought Action 80 onto the scene. A mistake that may have saved the city of New York. And in his excitement, Admiral Carruthers handed me a cigar. End of report. Transmit at once to Action 80.
The broadcast you have just heard was scientific fiction. Any similarity to persons living or dead was purely coincidental. Next week, Action 80 will bring you the top secret report of Dr. Robert Blackstone, noted astronomer, when radar contact is established with the moon. Featured in tonight's cast were Bill Conrad, Ed Begley, and Larry Dobkin. Music composed and recorded by Leith Stevens. Dan Cubberly speaking.